Independent artist Austin Fox dropped his critically acclaimed album Scorian Valley at the end of 2022. He's been gaining fans all around the world for his rugged boom bap sound with funky neo-jazz elements, and he joined me, Jazz, for the RepostExchange podcast to talk about the early days of lyric writing, how he's making a difference in his local community, and his love for fellow RepostExchange member and podcast alumni Kfitz. This is my chat with Austin Fox.
When I see the shore, the villains who travel through either Lord to defeat the core. Swallow and private and either or.
So, Austin Fox, nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you, Jazz. Finally, after all these years, I feel like RepostExchange, when it came out in 2019, there was a lot of faces and names that would come up, and yours was one of them. I was like, man, I like this community. I like what's going on here. So, excited for this for sure.
Me too. I was really pleased to see you back. Because I interviewed Kfitz a few years ago.
We were talking about that. No, me and Kfitz, we met back in college. We actually pledged our fraternity together, and we had this common interest in this artist named Capital Steez. At the time, he was the only person who really knew about this character besides myself, and so since then we've really been kind of each other's engine in terms of the music grind and just getting each other back going, because we used to make music in high school over a decade ago. So in between that hiatus, we really kind of locked in on something, and so we're finally in that transition where we've taken it to the next step, I think. And so Kfitz just dropped his latest album on all platforms, and we definitely have some things already in the works. But it's interesting because when I found out about RepostExchange years ago, Kfitz, he was one of the first people I mentioned about the service and just how cool it was, because for the longest time I had issues just finding a mutual place where you can share your music with other people and not feel like you're burdening, kind of like, over being too presumptuous. Hey, check out my stuff. And so he was the one other person in my kind of friend circle where he took it upon himself, and we love RepostExchange. So.
Oh, that's so good to hear.
Yeah. For sure.
So what got you into making music when, where did it start for you?
So honestly, growing up, me and my buddies, we were, I want to say in the elementary school days where we would have this after school activity called MAP. I honestly don't, most or something against all, I don't know, makes all possibilities. It's essentially an after-school program to promote kids, who may not have the best upbringing, and more or less kind of a guidance for them in the after-school curricular sense. And so every year we would have these oratorical contests where we'd have to find a poet that we'd want to memorize a poem on. They gave us a bunch of poems and we'd have to recital. So I always think that was like what triggered it from an early age. And then, just listening to music and stuff. So all my buddies who were involved in that program, we all still make music. We all prioritize writing, I guess, and the lyrics and the lyricism behind it. And so that was really probably the big bang, if you will.
Yeah. So when you write your lyrics, what do you focus on?
That's changed over time. I know when we first started, we were just trying to, when we first came in the game, Lil Wayne, he was pretty much on top. And for us, if you didn't have bars, if you didn't have, it was all about the punchlines. It was real gritty. So I just remember when we first started, and we do have videos on YouTube where we first started. It was, it was just more about just trying to be witty with the analogies, and it was a bit random. But I think at least modern day for me now, I've really tried to take a dive at the artistry itself and, just expressing yourself. And so just whatever that means, sometimes it might be straight up, here's the topic, this is what we're trying to focus on, this is the tone, light or dark, go in that manner. Or, it could just be something random like, hey, this beat's hot, like, let's go, and just whatever comes to mind. So it's a mix, but I'm definitely more conscious of it these days on what we want to do with each song. So
what up, Earl?
Chillin', my nigga.
Game tight, cold-blooded, some say the veins ice. Chillin' by the wayside, metal arm extended like a wave rock. Hollow tips be grave like day and night. Cost a piece from busting pipes. Awesome beats get off on sight. You awfully right. Laws of life. We lost our soul, you lost your mind. Can't find it there. Try to find my way.
So how important is collaboration to you?
It's essential, in my opinion. Just like in anything in life, parts of the whole, or when 2 or 3, 4 folks come together, you typically can do greater things. And so, I'm very team based, and so that's kind of where me and Kfitz and a bunch of other my guys in this group we started called New Wave Limited Company is the formal LLC, but we just go by New Wave. And that's kind of really the big push and the motivation. When we first started it, it was a sense of, hey, let's be each other's, flank, let's guard the flank, but let's also support each other and challenge each other. When one of my buddies drops a crazy album, the first thing I'm thinking is like, dang, okay, when, time to go. Like, I got to get my crazy album out. So it's just having more people in the situation adds more to that situation. So yeah, I think it's essential.
Yeah.
I'm getting back in the swing where I'm like, let's not be too formal. Let's just drop stuff. And that's what SoundCloud is for, in my opinion. And so,
yeah.
So I'm glad it worked out. Yeah.
Amazing. And then, like, trying to tell me about the music video, like, that looks pretty cool. I like it when people have like a proper music video.
Thank you. No, I'm the same way. And, kind of going back on this theme of like 10 years, I've only really dropped one mixtape, and then within the past 2 years, 3 years, we've managed to kind of pick that up. But the one thing I've kept telling myself is, hey, like, before we start dropping visuals, like, I really want to make sure that we just get really good ones and that's it. And so I've just been really waiting on finding the right videographer to really mesh and blend the vision with. And we found this guy. I'm from a small town in Virginia called Staunton, and I found a guy named Kid Nick. Shout out Kid Nick. And we've actually known, like, our mutual friend groups have actually recorded together before and shot videos together before. And so, I finally hit him up. I hit him up actually probably about July of 2022, and we kind of just schemed for a little bit. But yeah, he's very professional. He'll come to me with ideas, and yeah, what I like about Kid Nick is that he'll have an idea and he'll ask for my feedback, and then I'll kind of do the same thing for him, and it's just like a back and forth. We have a good synergy, and yeah, this last video, it just clicked. So we're scheming on more visuals, and my goal is really this year to work with him to at least get 4 or 5 more decent videos throughout this year. So yeah, I'm very excited about it. I'm getting a lot of, I'm hearing, hey, I didn't know you rapped, like, so much now, just because the video, I think, is really gaining some traction. And so, by the way, I wanted to say that RepostExchange hoodie is super fresh. I love
Oh, really?
That is super cool.
We've only got, like, I did some, like, prototype merch last year, so we've everyone in the team's got one.
That's how it is. I'm the same way. I got some shirts that I've been sitting on for some months, and we've been rolling them out slowly. But yeah, you just you got to fill it out. But feedback for the prototype, fire.
Yeah.
My goal has been within these past couple of years, I've kind of understood that, like, hey, all these other places, they already have it. A lot of people will go to a New York or a Chicago or a bigger city, Atlanta, to really jumpstart their career. And a lot of me wants to bring a lot of that back home to Virginia. I want Richmond or even, you know, my local area to have, you know, some, hey, yo, if you're going through Virginia, stop here, here, and here's, you know. And so I'm actually in my local town. So I come from a historic, you know, Woodrow Wilson was born in my town. It's kind of, yeah, no, it's a low
cool.
key. I don't know if you know who the Statler brothers are either, but they were like a really big poppin', not a country band. They almost had like a soul to them. I mean, it was amazing. But like, I think the 60s, 70s, I apologize if I got the dates wrong. But they were really good. And yeah, you know, I just sort of realized, like, why don't we have more in this area? And a couple from New York, Pam and Tom, they're actually an Emmy Award-winning videographer couple. Yeah, they're married. For Madame President was this documentary that they did that won the Emmy, but they moved from New York, and you know, they're very artistic, you know, just very community-driven folks. And so what I've been working on, I think it's a director. Yeah, a director on the board for our Arcadia Project, and we're essentially renovating an old segregated theater in my hometown into an inclusive performing venue, because we just don't have anything like that in my hometown, and we have so much talent, and just want to give back to the youth. I mean, that's been my biggest goal as of late, in Virginia specifically, is, you know, I've been going up to Philadelphia. That's where Kfitz is actually at. So we'll go there and perform and link up. And I noticed that everywhere you go, I mean, you just get a sense that like the hip hop scene is just so much more, you know, the infrastructure is so much more established. And so I've just realized that, you know, I could move to Philly, I can do this and that, and definitely something that I'm looking to do. But yeah, I think my goal right now is I want to establish more of a hip hop scene in Virginia. He tried, little bro, homie, like we ain't got the flank on y'all, man. Yo. I figured, like Apple making a new G.I. Joe, he and yo had to match the mode. A bunch of hot heads marched in line, soldiers pawns on the floor. Thinking they the general, but way too general. Evasive, we attack from the trees on overcrowded battlefields. We planning on the siege.
What are you doing for that? What time is it there? It's early in the morning, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am. 5:51 a.m.
You had coffee?
Not yet, but here soon. Here soon I will.
Oh, nice. And then what do you do for work?
So I'm actually a mechanical engineer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I went to Virginia Tech. That's where I met Kfitz.
Cool.
I just like the Kfitz dynamic because, like, I think it's cool that he had to talk first. But anyways, I'm a mechanic. I'm a mechanical engineer, and I used to actually work in an airport where we would design installations, and we would install like cameras, sensors for like military DoD contracts.
Oh, wow.
So actually, I got some patches here. I see, music's my passion, some of my patches, but
you're also a plane nerd.
Exactly, aerospace. I'm currently working in HVAC, but I'm actually doing design work. So essentially, when our welders are welding pipes together or this and that, I'll just design jigs and supports and tools to kind of help them make it easier.
Oh, wow.
Essentially.
So were you really good at maths at school?
Depends on who you ask. Maybe relative here, yes, but in college, I was humbled. Let's just say there's a lot of smart people out there. I am confident, but yeah, I know there's work to be done in that field as well.
That's it's a very humble answer. Yeah. So do they ever cross over, the mechanical engineering and music? Like, how does that work?
I tell people all the time, you know, by day I'm a mechanical engineer, by night I'm an audio engineer, or, you know, and it's a lot. Because I do mix and master. I used to mix and master all my projects and all my buddies' projects. And so there'd be nights where, hey, the deadline for my buddy's tape is tomorrow, but the mixes aren't done. I guess I'm pulling an all-nighter. Oh, and I got to go to work. You know, I got selfies or pictures of some of the days, you know, when I'd go into work that next day, and it's definitely like there's just moments where they clash, and you got to be the difference, you know, to make this work. But also I think learning from school, you know, in engineering, I pulled all-nighters all the time, you know. I've learned the balance this year. It's really my goal to just implement it a bit more.
Try and find a little balance.
It's all about the balance. Shout out to Kfitz, my boy, once again.
Thank you so much for being my guest today.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
I've so enjoyed our chat. It's been so much fun.
Thank you so much. I actually really enjoyed it too. I was a little nervous, I'm not gonna lie, but midway through I started to feel it out. So thank you so much for having me. I'm honored.
Well, it's fine. I get nervous too, you know.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, I really do. Well, I'm gonna let you go, but thank you so much for our chat, and yeah, keep in touch.
Thank you, will do. And like I said, I appreciate you all, and yeah, shout out RepostExchange. Have a great day, Jazz.